Well, that didn't look good.
Tyrion's like, yes! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Cam. This is Zay, and we are here watching Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 8, The Mountain and the Viper. Yes, that is the name of the episode.
Ooh.
But before we get into it, if you guys like what you're watching, leave a like down below. Subscribe to stay tuned for more. You can also watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes on Patreon. The link for that will be in the description. But before we get into it, Zay, what do you remember previously?
Man, all right. So I kind of like to work backwards, I guess, most of the times, because from what I saw to the most early thing, latest thing I saw versus the most early. So Baelish pushed Lady Aaron out the moon door after kissing Sansa. Maybe you could argue that he did it out of Sansa's safety because Aaron is a little loose bolted. She's kind of crazy. After seeing him kiss her, she might have been like, "I'm a kid." Yeah, I mean, and then Sansa also slapped Robin across the face. Not saying it wasn't needed, but definitely interesting to see where that's going to go in the Vale, because now Lady Aaron's dead. Does Robin take over? Does Baelish take over? Because that's her technical husband. We're going to see. Cersei approached the mountain to fight. Oberyn approached Tyrion to say, "I will fight for you. I want vengeance on the Lannisters. This is the perfect place." So he is willing to fight against the mountain for Tyrion, who was denied by both Bronn and Jaime. Let's see what else happened. Arya and the Hound are kind of growing closer. The Hound ended up mercy killing somebody, but also teaching her like where the heart was. Basically saying, "This is how you kill a man." To which Arya used it on the dude that she freed, right? With Jaqen or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, so she ended up killing him. Perfect hit with needle right in the heart. Took him out. We didn't see anything of Bran or Rickon, so I hope we see some more of them. And then Jon basically got clowned, kind of. He said we should seal up the tunnel. They were saying that, that's how we get to the north. What are we going to do? And he said we don't go north because of Mance. And, probably, and also the White Walkers are coming. And, they said you're just a steward. In layman's basic said you're a steward. You don't know anything about that. No, we're not going to do that. Also, put your fucking beast in a cage. Right. Ghost can't be out. I think it pretty much that covers not all the things that happened, but a lot of the major things.
Just a nice, quick little recap.
Yeah.
And also, Zay made a disclaimer whether or not he knows this is going to happen in this episode, or whether or not this is going to happen later down the road, whether or not this is related to what's going on now, or if it's related to something down the road. Zay is aware of something that he saw on a TV screen a while back before ever watching this show, and he thinks it might be related to what's going to happen now. But again, he doesn't know for sure. Yeah. But with that being said, Zay, what's the disclaimer you wanted to make?
Yeah, so from what I think the setup's going to be, and from what I remember, and from the dialogue that led up to believe from the last episode, is I think that the mountain ends up killing Oberyn in combat, because from what I remember, I remember Oberyn, or at least a character, I don't even know if it was Oberyn at the time, I just remember a character fighting the mountain, them end up getting the mountain down, but tables turn. Now, I don't know anything post that. I just remember seeing that, and I was like, this show's sick, and I went and played a video game, because I was like, I'm not watching this, I'm in the middle. Never thought I'd come back to Game of Thrones, guys, so maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. That being said, I only kind of remember that scene. I don't remember the semantics of it, so if I'm wrong, then we're going to find out. Even if I'm right, I still don't know what happens post, so I guess we'll see. I mean,
yeah, could not even be related to what's going on now. We'll have to find out. But with that being said, let's get into it.
Well, baby was crying this morning.
Oh, I see.
Don't you ever touch him.
Little worldling bitch. You should have stayed with your own kind. Are you listening to me?
Shut your mouth.
It's just an hour, you dumb bitch.
You're a fucking moron. I never despised a character so quickly. Besides Joffrey. I didn't even get a good look as to who the fuck got Oh.
It's so cool. She was a wildling, so she understands the owl hoot. Like, she knew what that meant.
Sam put his girl in just danger. Like,
oh, he didn't think he was gonna. That was.
I know he didn't think of it, but.
Could you imagine seeing that coming after you?
She's so pissed. She hates women and men. She hates everything. Don't do it.
The baby's like, I got this.
He was like, let me look at her real quick. Let me look at her.
She let him live.
She puffed out its cheeks twice. He was like, you see that shit? I'm a hall pass for that shit.
Works every time.
Works every fucking time.
Manson and his army must be close.
100,000. And there's what? 105 of us left.
Yeah.
He's got kegs and molly. 102.
Heck, 100 a piece. You'd be fine.
1,000 apiece. Yeah, you're good. Good.
You're chilling. It's easy. Hey, Grey Worm. Oh, Grey Worm gets to see his lady naked. Well, the one that we assume he wants to... That he can't. Yeah, probably not stare, buddy.
Sunday.
I demand you drop your trousers. I must confirm something.
For today.
Oh.
Now I must see you.
Did you say you're Theon Greyjoy?
Yes.
Why should I believe that?
I was born on Pike to Balon Greyjoy, his third and last living son.
His composure is so good too, you know?
Right.
Lord Bolton implores you to protect your men and abandon this fortress you can no longer hold. Do this, and he will be just and fair with you as he has been with me.
Well...
My own father, your king, surrendered years ago to Robert Baratheon. I watched him bend the knee. There was no shame there. He fought with honor, as did you.
No shame. Fought with honor.
Ugh.
God damn.
Where in hell are you muttering?
Oh my gosh. He's about to break. I mean, some would say he did break. Both of them broke.
Have your men raised the white flag and open the gates?
Jesus.
We're going home.
You didn't really think I'd let them go, did you? It's fallen out of fashion.
That's the guy he was just talking to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lord Baelish. I have to tell the truth. I'll tell you everything.
Please, Elaine.
I should have lying by her name, though.
Yeah.
My name's not Elaine.
Oh.
It's Sansa Stark, eldest daughter of Lord Eddard Stark.
Tell lies right to my face, you little worm.
Lord Baelish has told many lies.
Oh boy.
All to protect me. He knew I'd be safe here in the Eyrie.
That's his face, right? The whole time.
Tell us what happened to your aunt, Sansa.
He's just fucking freaking out in his head.
Yeah, he's like, fuck.
My aunt was a jealous lady. She was terrified that Lord Baelish didn't love
Oh,
her
that
anymore,
smile.
that he
He's
would
like,
abandon
yep. Keep talking.
One day, she saw him kiss me.
It is Sansa.
It was a peck on the cheek, Lord Royce, nothing more. Lord Baelish is my uncle now, in truth, by marriage. He's always been so kind to me. I was so happy.
It's like one of those, like, if there's a dinosaur, just don't move and he won't see me.
He's like,
He tried to reason with her, promised her she was the only one he had ever loved, but she stepped through those doors and she was...
It's not your fault, sweet girl.
Interesting.
she's got like a mullet. And very interesting about, yeah. Baelish is like, he's like that dude with the mustache. He's like, makes it dance.
It's time.
Yes, it's time. Time for him to tour the Vale, to visit all the castles in his domain. Time for Robin to leave the nest.
Nah.
Bah, you got him. You're so good.
What's this? A royal pardon. Signed by Robert Baratheon.
Oh boy.
I would have torn that shit up, threw in the ocean. Like you never got.
Just
You spied on her. Who gave you this? Does it matter?
I mean, he did.
Yeah. For sure.
Like it's coming back to bite him in the ass now.
Mm-hmm.
Why did the usurper pardon you?
If we could speak alone.
No. Speak to me here.
He tried.
Who do you think sent this to Marine? This is the work of Tywin Lannister. He wants to divide us.
Mm-hmm.
You told them I was carrying Drogo's child? Yes or no? Don't call me that. Did you tell them I was carrying Drogo's child?
Oh, she's in serious mode right now.
Yeah. I would be too. Fuck.
Right.
That wine merchant tried to poison me.
I stopped you from drinking his wine.
Because you knew it
True.
was poisoned.
True.
You betrayed me.
But then saved you. Here's the issue. It's sticky. Because he could have let you die.
Go back to your masters in King's Landing. Collect your pardon, if you can.
She won't even look at him.
You found in Marine past break of day. I'll have your head thrown into Slaver's Bay.
Oh.
Do you blame her though? Like
that's the question. It's like, I mean,
no, I don't.
But like you said,
even though you had a change of heart, though, like those intentions were there. Right. I don't know. It's like
it's like so... why didn't you fucking say something the minute you saved me? Why didn't you say,
like, look, I fucked up. Like I was selling your secrets, but I changed.
Now.
I want to, yeah. You had to,
and
wait
he never came clean.
No, he waited until the pardon because he probably expected the pardon to never arrive, or if anything, to arrive to him.
Now tell me, what is your name?
Ramsay Snow.
No, not Ramsay Snow. Open it. From this day until your last day, you are Ramsay Bolton.
Oh shit.
Son of Roose Bolton, Warden of the North.
Jon Snow. They can fucking do that? Like, just like, what the fuck?
Ned!
I swear I will uphold your name and your tradition.
John's fucking...
You really think my aunt will pay for me?
Aye, she'll pay.
I've never even met her.
Doesn't matter.
She's dead.
You're her blood.
I don't think you're getting it.
For my condolences.
Because that bitch dead. He's like, you motherfuckers. She's got.
I mean, everybody she tries to go to, like Ned dies, she goes to Rob. Rob dies, she comes here. Lysa dies. She's like,
dude,
of course.
She's losing her sanity, bro. She's ready to fucking kill everybody. She's like, fuck it, all of you can die. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't like the way he creeps me out, bro. That's what it is. Like now he's a pedophile. Like that's only in real life, he's sitting outside in the white van with his mustache. Fucking.
I don't know if pedophile is the right word, but definitely creep. He or she's supposed to be like 15 or something, 15 or 16, which is definitely creepy as fuck.
Do you remember Cousin Orson used to sit all day in the garden crushing beetles with a rock?
What?
What? But I stayed with Orson. Why? I was curious. Why was he smashing all those beetles? What did he get out of it? First thing I did was ask him, Orson, why are you smashing all those beetles? He gave me an answer. Smash the beetles! Smash them! And as I watched, I became more and more sure of it. There was something happening there. His face was like the page of a book, written in a language I didn't understand, but he wasn't mindless. He had his reason, and I had to know, because it was horrible.
Fucking beetles. Ah, he's coming back! Run!
You're like, fuck. He's here. Who? Orson.
Tried to stop Orson once. He was twice your size. He just pushed me aside with a coup. Kept on smashing. Every day. Until that mule kicked him in the chest and killed him.
The mule was like, all right, bro. Fucking stop.
So what do you think? Why did he do it?
I don't know, bro. You didn't really give him a...
I don't know.
I agree.
Good luck today.
Oh.
All right. I don't know. Let's see what your fate is.
I don't know, but yeah, let's find out what happens with you today. Anyways, I gotta go. Like, what? Like, no, wait. I asked you a question. It's a big sword.
Leave me alone in this world.
Yes, it is.
Never.
That's a big commitment, bro. You better fucking survive.
That weapon he's using would be my... If I could master any weapon.
Some dead man.
I am the brother of Elia Martel. And do you know why I've come all the way to this stinking shit pile of a city? For you? I'm going to hear you confess.
This is like me playing Elden Ring.
You murdered her.
Right.
You killed her children. Say it now and we can make this quick. Say it. You raped her?
Yeah.
Murdered her?
Yeah. I know the result of this.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm like 99% sure. Oh, and it makes it almost more painful knowing it. Like, you know what I mean? Man, if you can master a spear, though, that's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, maybe I don't know that. Wait, I don't remember this.
He's so slick, though.
So smooth. Red Viper makes sense, you know. Snakes are smooth. And...
Well, because he knows poisons. That's why they call him the
Well,
Red
also,
Viper.
but like snakes, smooth, and they strike quick. He's quick strike. Well, that didn't look good.
Tyrion's like, yes!
You murdered her!
Yeah, I remember that specifically right there. The calf fucking cut.
Oof.
You killed her!
I hope I'm wrong. Kill her. Kill him. Kill him. Stab him in the face right now.
I mean, that's a... Looks like a kill shot to me.
You can't die yet. You haven't confessed.
No. This is the issue. This is what I like mainly suffer.
Her name, Elia Martel. You raped her. You killed her children. Elia Martel. Who gave you the order? Say her name. You raped her.
Do I say what I know is gonna happen?
Killed her children.
Sure, if it's what you think.
He's gonna sweep his foot with his hand. He's gonna roll over on top of him. Oh, punches all of his teeth out of his face.
Elia Martell. I killed her children. Then I raped her. Smashed her head in like this.
You could argue it's pretty hard to forget that scene, guys, if you've ever seen the fucking show. Like, I'll never forget that.
Well, Joffrey dying and that happening were the only things that Isaiah was ever aware about. So,
of his name,
yeah,
you're hereby sentenced to death.
Shit.
It's fucked up because Tyrion died because of Oberyn's cockiness. Literally.
Well, with that being okay, that was Game of Thrones season 4, episode 8. If you guys liked what you're watching, leave a like down below, subscribe to stay tuned for more if you're not already. And if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. So again, like I kind of just mentioned at the end there, Isaiah is officially completely in the dark about everything. There was only 2 things he knew, if I recall correctly. There was only 2 things he knew going into this show. That was that scene that he saw on the TV once, and that was that Joffrey was going to die at some point. And those 2 things have happened. So now, if I'm correct, Zay, you are completely in the dark.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on this episode? And
the Q&A. That is just it's a crazy episode. I want to get into the Q&A of it because I got opinions on that fight scene at the end and what happened. So
all right, so we saw the wildlings take over that area with Gilly, and Ygritte let Gilly live, but it seems like they're getting closer and closer to the wall. The doom is impending, and it doesn't still seem like there's really any solution in the Night's Watch. So what are your thoughts on that?
John basically, I mean, you heard it from John. He said, we're next. Like, if they're there, then that means that we're next up. I was shocked. I didn't know what was going to happen with Ygritte seeing, what's her name, with her child. I was nervous that someone else was going to find them and maybe Ygritte defends them or something along those lines. Interesting that they let them live. That's 2 close-ass calls with her and her child. But what happens with them after? Did they escape? Did they stay there until the raid was over? I don't know. John basically, he's like, it's like talking to a brick wall for him. So even if he tells them what's going on, they might not listen at the wall. So I guess we'll find out what happens. What?
He's already tried.
Yeah. And so even if he says now, like, yo, we're next, they might just be like, what are you? I'm a steward. And what do you worry about? Shut up. Right. It's like, okay.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Missandei and Grey Worm. Something's going on between those 2. What are your thoughts on that situation?
I think I said something too a couple episodes ago. I was like, that's interesting, but like, technically he doesn't have anything down there from what I know, but but maybe it's different for them. I know eunuchs are completely clean cut. Maybe Unsullied just get their stones taken, which would kind of still allow for a relationship. Yeah, they can't have a kid, but not saying that, intercourse and coitus is the only important part of a relationship, but it's kind of like, a decent part of a relationship. People would argue it's a major.
Well, you could also argue instinct. There's ways to get it done if you're.
There is. I just think that, that emotional intensity that you're seeing.
Right.
When you see Varys is very like, he could see a woman naked and he'd be like, okay.
Right.
Whereas like, he was like, he saw her naked and was like, I want her.
Do you think a relationship's going to form between them or not?
I think a relationship will form. I wonder if it will form, start to kind of get intimate and maybe simmer down in the sense that like maybe Grey Worm's like, doing this won't allow me to be like an Unsullied who's like committed to just defending their leader and not being intimate, where maybe he kind of cuts it off himself. That would be interesting, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Speaking of kind of that area still, Dany just found out that Jorah betrayed her a while back, and she was no holds barred. I don't know if I said that right, but she was not having it. And she said, get the fuck out.
Yeah. That what was funny is when I first heard that, I was like, wow. I'm like, so I'm like 80% sure that he got that letter before she almost got poisoned, which said that he was pardoned. He could return to King's Landing. At that time, I thought he just took that letter and was like, throw that in the garbage. We had that. So maybe he kept it and that's how it got discovered, or maybe they sent because it was dated from the time that, again, they were in that area. Man, Jory, you just not looking good. Again, I mean, Cam and I mentioned, like, yo, at that point, you were better. If you're going to commit to her, you were better off saying, look, I've been sending information, like, I want to come clean. They tried to pardon me to King's Landing. I don't want to be there. Like, especially right after saving her from getting poisoned, you could argue that she might be like,
that'd be the best time to probably do it.
Yeah, she probably would have been like, he gambled. He basically was like, do I tell her now after she almost gets killed?
And especially when she doesn't have many people on her side at that point in time.
Exactly. Now she has too many. Right. Now she has Grey Worm. Now she had, so it's just, he's going to go back, but does that pardon still uphold because it was so long ago? And even if he does go back, what would happen if they get into an engagement against Dany? Would he be willing to fight against her? I don't know, but it's a show of like he gambled and lost. That's really what it came down to, is that he gambled on that, her not finding out, and she found out. So now,
yeah, we'll have to see what's in store there. Next on the list, we have Ramsay sends Theon into Moat Caitlin, and Theon pretends to be Theon and manages to basically help them siege. I don't know if it's the right word, but acquire Moat Caitlin. And obviously Ramsay didn't stick to his word and pretty much flayed everybody. But now he's a Bolton. He's been named, given that name. He's not a Snow anymore. So what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
It's interesting, right? Because, Theon showed loyalty to Ramsay when his sister came to try to save him, right? And he was rewarded with a bath, and thus, Now Ramsay sends Theon in with an offer basically saying, we won't kill you if you surrender, to which Ramsay kills everyone to make sure that they take it over, Moat Caitlin. So I imagine it would kind of create a weird split with Theon where he's like, well, what the fuck do I believe now? Like he was telling me that this was just going to happen. I'm giving him this. I'll play this role. I still think there's a part of Theon, like actual, not Reek, like an actual Theon that exists in his conscience that might result in him maybe killing Ramsay or something, or even revolting. He's trying to escape.
I was going to ask, do you think he is hopeless now, or do you think there's some part of him still inside?
There's part of me that wants to say, like, when you see him like sitting there, like his like eyes almost like it's like a weird emotion you see, like where you almost like eyes water and shit. And part of me is like, damn, is that him realizing like, fuck, like I got to keep this act up, but like I don't want to keep doing this. I don't know. Now Ramsay's a Bolton, though. He got his goal achieved, so I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Another interesting, I guess you could say, step up would be Robin in the Vale is now kind of becoming the Lord of the Vale, but more importantly, Sansa put on a real convincing act in defense of Lord Baelish. She didn't have to. She was in the company of people who were going to treat her well. She didn't have to do any of that. She was a little bit worried about what they would, do to her, but at the end of the day, she did it. She lied, and we see this interesting relationship forming still between Peter and Sansa. So what are your thoughts on that whole situation, including Robin becoming the Lord of the Vale as well?
Robin's young. Robin's never seen most of the Vale, from what Peter was saying. Like, he's been stuck inside. Peter has his hooks in on Robin and kind of on Sansa, but I feel like Sansa's playing the game. She kind of realizes there's nothing for me to gain from getting him killed because I'm still, I'm nothing. If Peter comes into power, to some sort of power, she has leverage because Peter is clearly very fond of her, right?
Well, we see Peter acting as a mentorish figure to Robin right now, almost in a way that Tywin was acting to Tommen about, like.
So do we see her playing, like, chess with, maybe getting with Baelish or trying to use Baelish to achieve her goals, or maybe does Baelish? I mean, I don't know. I think I think it's a bunch of. I think that Robin is just a pawn in it, and it's a battle between Peter and Sansa right
So you
now
think
within
they're
the
not
Vale.
working together? You think they're battling each other?
I think they're both. I think Peter seems pretty out for himself. I think he's playing along, like he's out. He's trying to help, and I think that Sansa realizes that and is trying to play along with it, but for herself. At the end of the day, she's like she's still, as far as she knows, she's like, my sister might be alive. Maybe I know a lot of people said presumed dead, but she's probably playing. She's got to play her role to get into whatever power she can if she wants to even avenge the shit that happened to her father, her mother. She's gonna have to play, a certain role, and it's all chess right now for her. And even she said, like, if they killed you, what would they do with me? Like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. As long as I know you're here, I'm technically safe because you say I'm prettier than my mother. Maybe that you're a liar, but you were infatuated with my mother. You're probably infatuated with me. So if I can keep you alive, I can kind of keep myself alive by automatic. So
okay, yeah, that's an interesting perspective. We'll have to see where that goes. And then Arya and the Hound arrive at the Vale and find out that Lady Arryn is dead, and Arya bursts out in hysteria. So I guess my question for that is, do you think they're still going to enter the Vale and see what's going on now, or do you think they're going to leave and go somewhere else? And if they were to go somewhere else, where would they go?
I think they'll enter, but wouldn't it be poetry if they didn't? Because that would just be another Stark almost encounter that just falls apart. I think maybe they'll enter, maybe just to stay, and maybe Sansa doesn't even realize Arya Stark was there, or she realizes it after. Like, yeah, like maybe someone says like, Arya and the Hound just left. She's like, who? Like Arya Stark? Like, yeah. I think it's kind of a break of reality coming to Arya, where she's like, she's only been around bad news throughout this most of the series, where she's gonna start to become like, fuck this. Like, I'm taking out whoever I need to. Maybe they head back to Bravos and she meets what's his name?
Jaqen H'ghar.
Jaqen H'ghar with her. I mean, she still has a coin, right? For as far as we know, she still has that
what
coin.
What would the benefit of that be for the Hound? Do you think the Hound's just going to let her go at this point? I mean, who's going to sell her to now?
I don't even know if he wants to sell her. I think that for her it would be a benefit because she could really become like some sort of like, really profound killer, because Jaqen was able to kill 3 people that she requested without getting caught.
Right.
Then leave.
Right.
The Hound has no use for her now, but he doesn't have a use for killing her. The only use he really has is like maintaining his wounds. And if anything,
he wants money.
But he has nowhere to go unless the only other thing he's going to do is go to King's Landing and try to sell her to King's Landing. Be like, I have Arya Stark, but that might not.
He's got a bounty on him from King's Landing. So
yeah. So I mean, I guess we'll see. I don't know. It's like he's stuck. He might just, maybe it's almost like a situation.
He's got a bounty for killing. Landing,
maybe it's a situation that becomes of like Jamie, like how Jamie and Brienne were, where it's just like, I'll serve you for this time type shit. I don't know. I really don't know where that could go with him. He's kind of stuck, like very much stuck.
Yeah.
He lost most of his outsources. So
we'll have to see. Speaking of somebody who's in a sticky situation, let's get into the big battle with Oberyn and the Mountain. Yeah. Oberyn.
Yeah, nothing's more frustrating than now, like knowing the care. Like when I saw it happen, I was like, oh, what a cocky douchebag. Like, like, oh, you knocked him down, so you're not gonna kill him. You want him to say your name. And then watching it and being like, yo, there's a lot more on the line because I know Tyrion now. It's 100%. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You want to argue with me? Fine. You can argue through Cameron in the comments. That if Tyrion dies, it's Oberyn's fault. Oberyn was cocky as shit. He already had him down. Put the blade through his skull. You don't need the admittance. He, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did it. And instead he wanted to dance around.
Well, and you could tell Oberyn really didn't give a shit about Tyrion as much as he did about enacting his revenge.
Right. But here's my thing. You fucked up because you went to the one spot where he could actually do something. You went right under his arm. His arm was right.
Is 2020. He thought he was dead. like, or close to death. He didn't even think about the possibility of getting swept.
Dude, if I shot somebody in the stomach, I wouldn't dance around and be like, "Hey, tell me about that time you killed my family. What's their names?" I wouldn't dance around them if they have a you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I mean, that's how he felt. He felt he had won. He felt it was
and
over.
That shows the cockiness of, you know, people from maybe his land or just him. I mean, his character is very cocky in general. You know, he gets with a lot of women and all that. I just was like, you fucking asshole. Like, you could have just...
you imagine? So you knew that this was going to happen. Again, one of only like two things pretty much that you knew was going to happen.
Dude, if watching that
all of us felt who didn't
watching that scene from like a standpoint of not knowing what's going to happen, thinking, oh my God, Tyrion won. Like, Tyrion won.
That's what I thought.
The dismay on Cersei, the happiness on Jaime, and then to see him... And I'm sorry, that was one of the most brutal killing scenes I've ever seen. He grabbed him, punched his mouth, and it says teeth rattling as his teeth fell out, and then squashed his head. I was like, I'm telling you, when I watched that scene, I was like, I need to watch that show at some point. Now, I never got around to it because I didn't want to pay for HBO and all that stuff. But
well, thankfully, we're getting around to it now.
Holy shit. That scene was insane. Not only that, imagine getting straddled by a man twice your size and then saying, her name was this, I killed her children, and then as he's crushing your skull, it's like, yo.
He says her name.
But more than that, it ends and you're like, he's dead. Shardy screamed from Obi-Wan, and you're like, Tyrion's face was like, just like, I'm dead. Like, that's all it is.
Well, I want to ask you about this. Okay, so when the Mountain killed Oberyn, the Mountain, you know, laid back, right? So he kills him and then he gets on his back. Do you think the Mountain is dead as well? Do you think the Mountain is still alive? And what are a number of possibilities you think may happen to Tyrion? For example, do you think Tyrion, they might say, all right, now will you go to the Night's Watch? Or do you think that Tyrion is dead if the Mountain won? If the Mountain did die, do you think
so?
It's a tie? Let me
because I know all the options you're going to probably say. If the Mountain won, he's dead. If the Mountain falls back and actually dies, does Tyrion argue for a draw, saying, and maybe uses that for a cop out to go to the wall, be like, look,
but what if they say
he died first, so technically, you know, the Mountain won, you might get executed. I think that the most
out of all the possible situations right now, what do you think is going to happen?
I think the Mountain dies. And guys, I cross my heart to die on everyone I know. I promise you, I don't know what happened after that scene. Like, I swear, I promise you.
They understand. We're very transparent with what we know and don't know.
I think the Mountain dies. Cersei argues that the Mountain won technically because he killed Oberyn before it. Tyrion makes the argument to Tywin that technically it was a draw because both died in combat and he gets sent to the wall. That's my prediction. I don't know if it happens. If it happens, that's insane. If it doesn't, then fuck. I guess I lose another fucking great character and I'm pissed.
We'll have to see. With that being said, again, if you guys like what you're watching, leave a like down below. Subscribe to stay tuned for more. And if you want to watch the full-length reaction to this and the next 4 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. Link in the description. Zay, I know you have a Twitch.
Yes, I do. Sunday through Friday, I'll be streaming. I will post on my socials, which will be linked in my Twitch bio if I cancel any streams and stuff. But Tuesdays and Fridays, I am live with Cam, along with some of our friends. We're playing a whole bunch of variety of games, especially when I'm with Cam. We should be done with the playthroughs that we're doing by now. We're trying to get into more, fun games, party games, stuff that chat can interact with. So feel free to stop by, suggest us games, all that type of stuff. My YouTube will be up by then. So suggest me some playthroughs, stuff you want to do. I'm trying to do horror, just generally good games like God of War and all that type of stuff. I want to get like a whole bunch of content out there. With that being said, though, I know Cam also has a Twitch.
Yep,
playing games like
playing games like blah, blah, blah. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you're gonna have to check it out. The link's in the description. But with that being said, so guys, it's so awesome to have you guys here. Can't wait to get into the next one. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Peace.